G'day, freedom lovers. How are we today? All you beautiful blokes and Sheilas out there who know that you are free and freedom is worth fighting for. That's what we're all about here. Big sips to all you beautiful freedom lovers. And I had a bit of a chat with a wonderful guest who I'm about to bring in earlier about the other day, about this, freedom movement, truth movement, all these different ideas clashing around. But we're going to dive into that a little bit. And, it got me thinking, because when conceiving the North Queensland Freedom Network, for which I am a custodian, it is your network, it is the people's network. You come and use this facility, please. I encourage you, drop me a line at nqfreedomnetwork@protonmail.com at any time. Please use this. That's what it's for. It's for you. I just host this. I am the custodian of this network, much in the same way our Indigenous brothers and sisters are the custodian of the land. We're here to keep these things in check and make sure things are looked after and done properly. Sorry, I forgot to change the blackboard. I'll do that another day. It's a bit colorful today. It's not really black because it's white. I just want to make sure that everybody's adequately confused as the mainstream media are, because, Troy Thompson, the mayor that we elected that's not allowed to be mayor, is blackboard because I have a whiteboard. That's the kind of mainstream media thinking that we have to deal with, ladies and gentlemen. And it was just an amazing little segue into what we're going to discuss today. So, look, there's lots of different ways I could go about doing things and bringing things in. And I'm always dancing between one world and another within my own mind. But one thing I will do before we start getting into things is, particularly for you Townsvillians out there, Australia Unites Against Government Corruption is the next march. It is this Saturday, the 13th of September, starting at 12 p.m. Anzac Park, the Strand. Same place the last, freedom flag waving, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, I think it's all the same thing, much like, we can say, well, this is a bottle, in German is Flasche, how many different ways can we say the same thing? At the end of the day, it's still what it is. The word you prescribe to it, I don't think is as important, so long as everybody understands what it is we're talking about. You know, sometimes you may have to learn another language in order to identify it from a different point of view. But anyway, I'm going off topic again. Just want everybody to sort of reel in on this one. Sorry, I can't be there. I've nothing to do with it myself other than saying, hey, go and have a look at it. I did get accused from the Mackay City Council recently of actually setting up an event and putting flyers on cars. I'd like to publicly state I have no bloody idea what you're talking about. I've never set up an event and I've never handed out flyers for one except my own gigs back in Melbourne, and it had nothing to do with any of this shit. So you can ram that right where the sun done shine. Mackay City Council. I don't know where you got that crazy fucking idea, but you should start doing some fact checking before you start making unfounded, wild accusations, as I told the foolish lady who decided to contact me. So anyway, let's move on. Jackie, how are you?
Good, thanks, Betty. Yourself?
Yeah, not too shabby. Generally entertained by the world at large, you know, whether it's a council trying to, you know, assert some form of authority that they don't have over shit that never happened, or whether it's the fantasy garbage that comes out of the mainstream media.
That's a common theme.
It is. They all seem to live in their own little pocket reality, you know. It's
Yeah.
like the same thing they accuse us of. It's interesting how they take their own twisted realm and try to project it onto those who are not complying or conforming to their stupidity.
So well put. So well put. Like, it's every conceivable thing you can think of nearly that they try to turn onto us or make out as though we do. Look at the misinformation, disinformation bill that they were trying to bring in, or law they were trying to bring in. It's who's guilty of that?
Exactly.
It's safe and effective. It'll find you out in the bush. It'll find you out in the middle of nowhere, out in the desert.
That's right. And I mean, actually, I've got a meme just conveniently prepared for just such an occasion. Look at this. It was like it was meant to be 95% protection in May, 70% protection in June, 50% protection in July, and just descending to December. You die, but you go to heaven.
There's no protection. It's no protection. Times are just, it is so crazy. It's almost as if things are so mad, twisted, and upside down. It's as if they're doing it on purpose, perhaps to wake people up. You know, sometimes I look at it like that and think, you know, what is it going to take for people to actually recognise that we are in a very, this is what I say, humanity is, we are on a precipice. We are right on the edge of extinction if we don't do something. You know, it was always, I guess, understood by most that when we are in trouble, when you start to see the bottom of the food chain disappear. Now, we've lost 80% of our insects, and the bird flocks in the sky, they're down. They're probably down to a tenth of what they used to be.
Yeah.
It's
that's because of climate change, though, isn't it?
Well, there is such a thing as climate change, of course. But
it's summer, autumn, winter, spring. I think I've got a meme for that one
that's
too.
Right. And, you know, the earth heated up. We've had times where it's iced over, the ice ages, and you've had the warmer periods. It's the earth is a living entity.
Yeah,
and
I'm pretty
confident
there were no cows roaming the earth in farms at the last periods of ice ages and global warming catastrophes. And even if they were, what it's a natural cycle, is it a catastrophe? It's an interesting concept. You know, we're moving into the philosophical realm at this point, I think, as opposed to science.
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous to think nature balances everything out. I mean, you've got to think how many creatures. There's a great book. It's called The Deer People, and it's about America and North America, and it speaks of how when they came into America, they slaughtered slaughtered literally tens of millions of buffalo just. So we've got a lot less now than what we would have done. And the irony of it is that forests, wetlands, etc., the ocean are carbon sinks. So what are they doing to absorb an essential element? Because if you reduce that down, you don't get the plant growth, and that's where we get our oxygen from. So it's freaking insanity. So they'll clear forests and put up these freaking wind turbines, which the forests are absorbing CO2. Like, nothing makes sense.
Of course not.
Everything's the opposite.
You've got to dig up all the forest land to get to the cobalt and lithium and all the various other elements required, which, you know, once upon a time, these people who claim they care about the environment stood against such horrific mining practices. But now they're all for it because we're all going to die if we don't mine the fuck out of the earth. It's the ultimate mind job on the environmental movement, as far as I'm concerned. It's the ultimate fucking psyop. Mind control. MK Ultra. Which way do we want to go? Which term? Again, what's the name of this? Is it a bottle flasher? What is it called? Does it matter? It's the same fucking thing.
It's insane. It's seriously. I'm looking forward to the weekend. That's going to be good. I hope we get as many, if not double the amount. We've got to put pressure on the government. But look, this is the thing. It's as I said to you earlier, it's as if they are doing things on purpose to get a reaction, or is it really, you know, are we being shown by creator or source? You know, is he trying to get a message through? Like, do something even more ridiculous now, put them under more pressure. What's it going to take? It's been an IQ and a tolerance test from day dot, and unfortunately many are failing in the IQ test. This is the thing. It's you know, that's what I say. When you say something, I'll give you an example, like United We Stand. Don't say it if you are going to leap in and start going against another religion or race, or like you're being a fraud to yourself. When you say United We Stand, United We Stand, humanity is on the edge of extinction. I opener to see that there is someone at the top there controlling it all. Because how else, if you've got something that has been so precisely designed, that has been released, you know, nothing's been left unturned. It's been systemic, systematic, strategic, and in stealth, unleashed around the world at the same time. What would you call that?
Very well planned.
You'd call it a military operation. Yeah. It's a military operation. And I think, you know,
it depends on the way you look at it too. I mean, I guess the military do employ terrorist tactics from a certain point of view if you're the one being terrorized. So you could even say it's an act of terrorism from a certain point of view, considering the level of fear that was invoked amongst so many people.
I'm not saying that the military have done it, but it's a military style operation, shall we say. But look, you've got to look, it just blows my mind. We've got governments that they are guilty of mass murder. They are guilty of malfeasance. They are guilty of fraud, theft, and treason. They can go and create scenes like, well, slaughters, massacres, like Port Arthur. You know, it just goes on and on, doesn't it? 9/11, all the shootings in schools, which were, someone did a study on that and said that every single one of those shootings in the schools in America, every single one of those kids that did it, they were all on pharmaceutical antidepressant medication that creates all kinds of mind issues. But look,
well, that's one of those.
This is the thing.
And it's not just those, you know, particular instances too. It's a lot of different instances of psychological imbalance seem to be directly related to a pharmaceutical, generally designed to have the opposite effect.
Yes, but yeah, we know what it is.
Mm,
Not just
making money. At the very
they're
least, you can
making
say
money.
they're making money, but
Absolutely.
I mean, and it becomes one of those questions. Is it just cause harm, or is it just I'm just a greedy bastard and I don't care if I
Absolutely.
cause harm? Either way, it's
Look, I
willful
think it's all
intent
part.
if they know that these things are damaging.
Oh, look, absolutely. Look, this has been going on for hundreds, thousands of years. Look, they think about when they burnt the witches. So the witches were the healers. They were the herbalists. And then, during those periods in time as well, they burnt all the books. They burnt all the knowledge. This is the thing. The Father with no name, the Almighty, our Almighty God, Creator, Source, has provided absolutely everything that we need. Traditional medicine. It's not alternate. You've got original, traditional, which is what we provided naturally, or you got poison.
Yep, and again, I've got a meme that sort of brings us into a more modern construct. 100 years ago, organic food was food. Grass-fed beef was just beef. Pasteurized raised eggs were just eggs. Raw milk was just milk. Let's go back to that and make food real again. And again, you can take, and every step backwards, you can see the same fucking thing. Spirituality was just, a spiritual concept. It didn't need to be an organized and controlled religious construct either. So you see the mind job throughout history, time and time again.
Absolutely. Look, as a lot of us are aware, it is a spiritual war as well, and they're doing their best to remove, they're trying to remove the Bible. They've stopped all kinds of, what do they try and remove from, they're removing the word of God, shall I say, from as many places as they can.
Yeah.
This is why they've got this thing against sovereignty, because sovereignty is free. It's connected with, I guess, the divine spark or what have you. Sovereignty. And it was interesting. I was speaking to a friend earlier, and he said, "Oh, you've seen bloody Albanese over in, I think it was the Solomon Islands, saying, I respect the sovereignty of the Solomon Islands people."
Wow,
like,
what about the sovereignty of your own people?
This is what I mean. It's just like they're trying to, everything they do is, it's insane. It's laughable.
It's an out there
like
concept, right? And it was something that I heard through another more out there sort of a medium, so to speak. And the idea that
out there's got to be one of your mates, mate.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's my best friends. Always out there, Being in there is just not quite. Who wants to be in when you can be out? It's like
absolutely.
Saying, why would you want to be in jail? Wouldn't you rather be out of the jail? So anyway, that jokes aside, the idea that perhaps the darkest of the dark, the worst of the worst, the true, Kabbalists, they've kept themselves out of limelight, which has made it easier for them to be removed. So, whoever has been, or whatever even, has been pulling the strings, perhaps is no longer at the helm. And all that's left is the handful of minions who have the illusion of power in for us, but we're starting to see through that. They're not getting any new direction from those who are obviously more intelligent than them. And you've got to go and look back to the 9/11 scenario with George Bush Jr. Intelligence is not a word you would associate with the president of the United States at that time, much like Joe Biden. And now I'll bring in, what's happening here in Australia. The Bidenism is starting to stick here, where he's getting the shit hammered out of him.
Yeah,
which is great. And it's made big news. It starts with the coach always has time for him. And doesn't he look awkward? Like, oh my God, I just had to go near that guy. Oh, yuck. and everything Albanese.
It looks like Albanese grabbed his hand.
Yeah, there's a little
It
video.
looked like Albanese grabbed his hand and said,
Yeah.
"Put your hand around my
He's
shoulder."
like, oh, my hand is so dirty. I've got to go clean it. I've been near it. Oh, it's touched elbow. But Albanese booed by footy fans at AFL elimination final. Footy fans savagely turn on Australian PM Anthony Albanese. Or, like it's pretty big. He's become Australia's Joe Biden. The people are turning.
Oh, look, absolutely.
And when you see these things happening all over the place, and I'm hearing these, very out there sources saying that, well, perhaps the darkness has been removed from the places we couldn't see them, because the general public aren't going to notice that, leaving only the actors for us to play out the rest of the story. But they haven't got a script anymore. So all they're doing is rerunning the old shitty shows. And it doesn't work because we've seen them. They're reruns. We know this story. And it's all falling apart.
Well, it's interesting you touch on that. This is what I was saying to someone the other day. We were speaking of what sort of instigated, I guess, these gatherings. The one that was on the 31st. And the one on the 13th, because there hadn't been any protests for quite some time. And we've spoken about this since with the Muslim event that was highlighted this year above all, and they've been doing it for 12 years. That's just led into all of these, well, I guess it's woken us all up again, but we've got to recognise that we are all humanity. And the world is being attacked at the same time. So people have got to wake up to the fact that the earth, we are all made from the earth, dust to dust, ashes to ashes, and we must walk side by side and shoulder to shoulder. We are the ones that conduct ourselves honourably in good conscience, peacefully and lawfully. It's these ones that, government, etc. I should point down, not to government. They are the ones that are not acting the way they should. They are the instigators of everything. They cause every single issue that we've got. People need to start waking up to it. Look at what the Muslims have done. They've, invaded here and they've invaded there. Look at history. And I said, all right, well, now you've said that, let's look at history. And most of it's a freaking lie. So isn't it about time that instead of repeating the same thing over and over, because this is the awakening, how about we don't believe what we see in history and we change history? We are to be the authors of our future, and it's up to us. As we know, they've destroyed it. They've destroyed so much of history to conceal the truth. It's always about concealing the truth. So this is what I say. As I said to you, look, you are the Freedom Network, Betty. You're not the Freedom Movement. But I have always said I'm not a part of the freedom movement, because I'm not going to walk down, through my country and say freedom. I am free. With Harrison in the bloody Melbourne, I'd get up with him and say that through my megaphone at him, trying to get louder than him. We are free. Stand up and own it. And everyone would go, yeah, we are. And then Harrison would start going, freedom again. Everyone would start going, freedom.
Yeah, because they're cheering for it. And again, it's like, this is where, again, like what I'm saying about the bottle, it's a point of view, and they're cheering because we are free, and we're owning that freedom, and we're not submitting to this shit. Is that one? Like,
Yep.
is that perhaps a way of looking at it? You know, whatever this movement is, I prefer to go, it's the Great Awakening. You know, it's the great, hang on, there's something fucking wrong.
Definitely.
Let's sort this shit out. Let's
Yeah.
figure out what is actually going on.
Yeah.
We don't know what history is.
Yeah.
You know, we don't know because they've burnt so much, they've destroyed so much. And, you know, when I say they, not specifically any one culture or you know, religion even. You know, I think whatever the controlling forces have been, you know, this has been a spiritual war. You know, so many people say that this is a spiritual call. You know, I hope we get to find out at the end exactly what the hell's been going on. So we're you know, Graham Hancock would say that we are on a planet with amnesia. We have no idea what our history is. We have these big fucking monuments and shit littered all over the planet that suggests there was shit here beforehand, but we don't actually know what it means. And instead of trying to figure it out, we fight each other over, no, I'm right. No, I'm right. Can we just like figure it out?
Look, I think this is how they've done it.
I've got a degree that says I fucking know. Oh, that's good, you know, and who authorized that?
Look, the evidence is everywhere around the world. I mean, there's meant to be well over, I think it was 2,000 pyramids around the world. There are pyramids on nearly every single. Yes, that's exactly right. Some are underwater. And look, there's a great. It's on YouTube. It's called The Universe Within You. It's done very, very well, and they show the archaeologists going in, and you know, with Gobekli Tepe, they show all of over in South America, the pyramids there, like over in Iran and Iraq and Lebanon, Middle East. There is amazing stuff everywhere, and a lot of it is underground. Look, you've got the big caves. And the quarries with all the stone, Japan, it's everywhere. Absolutely fascinating. We cannot make stuff today.
Go back, Eppies, it's claimed to be one of the oldest sites, and you know, buried in the sand, as you can see, they've been digging it out of a fucking hill.
Yeah, do you know the interesting thing with Gobekli Tepe? They say that it was deliberately filled in.
Yeah. Somebody decided to cover it up for whatever reason.
Like a time capsule.
It was one of those things that always mystified me as a kid. It's like, oh, there's all these cities buried underneath, you know, other cities. I'm like, how the fuck does that happen? How does, you know, just sediment over time? That'd take a long fucking time, wouldn't it? Like,
well, there's been mudslides
buried. Like somebody must have decided to, or you know, I know there's the mud flood hypothesis. You know, and having lived through a flood, I know a lot of sediment comes just from a flood. Was it the Noah's Ark flood and things like that? I mean, these are just questions because we don't have a great deal of answers because whatever knowledge is out there is obviously being suppressed. But you know, there's so much left, and there's so much being uncovered, and it's just being flooding in from every source. Clearly, those who seek to suppress history and knowledge are they're out of the depth now. They can't control it. They've completely lost control of the whole situation when it comes to things like this because people want to know. Why the hell wouldn't you want to know who the fuck built this and why? What's all this shit really for? And we're the greatest thing that ever walked the fucking earth.
These are the dark ages. We're in the dark ages. Look at, for example, some of the layouts and the patterns that look exactly like circuit boards, for example. Yeah. Look at what you can do with water. Like, we still do not understand the ability of water. It's got memory. Have you seen those ones where you can put a photograph underneath water? So you put water in a flat, and then you can go and freeze it, and it doesn't replicate it exactly. It replicates that you can see it's the same picture, but it's its own version. You know, and you look at all the ancient civilizations with water. The water was always, it has to go through flows. and you can kill water. And that's what they're doing with our water, because it goes, you know, and then 90-degree angle, killing the water, the structure. Everything they do is, killing things. And with a lot of these amazing ancient civilizations that they've uncovered, as soon as they get to a point where they can find openings into underground areas and caverns, the governments come in every country and shut it down. Shut it down. Look at you've got this pyramid in Serbia, the pyramid in China, and I think there's some even more amazing stuff in Egypt. What was that? There was an old movie that was done there, but they think that they found it was connected with the use of water to generate, what did he call it, like pulse generation. It was to make energy using water. Look, everything's being hidden from us. This is starting to recognise that we've got to, beautiful. We've got to learn to, all the old sayings. Trust your gut. Trust your instinct. If something doesn't feel right, it's not. And this is about the awakening, I think.
It does right too. Like when you look at images like this and you're awed by them and gone, nah, we didn't build that shit. If that's the first thing that pops in your head, there's a good chance it's fucking true.
Yeah, look, we're definitely Nephilim here,
and like that's an.
I'm sure there are a lot of other beings.
Like that's one I haven't actually seen before. That's a really cool pattern. I like it.
Oh, look,
circular. Like,
I'm on the phone, so I can't. I've known Christians all my life, literally all my life, and
I've always had a fascination from the cartoons I used to see as a kid to even to now, where I go and have a look at the Gaia network, and I do have an opportunity here to flog the free 7-day trial that we have in the description. You can email me for the link and whatnot, because I actually do look at this shit. Like this, it's not something I say promote because hey, fuck it, I'll get something. Yes, I get a little kickback if you use the link. But I'm promoting it because I'm awed by this shit myself, and I'd like to think that others might get into it too.
You got to go and have a look at the universe within you. Go and check that out. That's great. It covers so many different countries and all the it's mind blowing. If they're successful, or shall I say, being able to keep going, keep things aired, is because they always pose it as a question. Could this be?
Is that on YouTube? Or?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Oh, it's amazing. It's a very, very good show. You've got to check that out, Batty. Got to check it out.
What we're looking at here? The universe is within button, or am I?
No. Look up the universe within you. Hold on. I'll Google it and I'll send it through to you as a link. But look, what are we going to do about the bloody situation we are in?
Wow. Personally, I think I found it here, the universe within you. I just had to go through a different note. This is what we're looking at? Prehistoric megastructures.
Yeah, that looks like it.
Nice.
University.
I'll drop that into
New Zealand, like I was going to say masonry, but they've made that a bad word as well. The stone masonry, etc. We are nowhere near as advanced as what they were back then. It'd be and where most of it is.
A lot of ways it's been suppressed. There's a good chance that there are people who know damn well what the hell is going on. And I've always kind of had the theory that the whole Masons were basically just pretending like, hey, yeah, we built that. We know exactly what's going on. Hey, mate, can you figure the fuck out what's going on before somebody realizes we're bullshitting them? Like, that's kind of the way I look at Freemasonry, but I might be wrong.
Look, I don't know. I think, and I always say to people, just when it comes on to Freemasonry, that all of my forefathers, including my father, my grandfathers, were all Freemasons.
Okay.
I know Dad and my grandfathers, like they would have been in there for maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 years or something. And this is the thing, there are good and there are bad. It's the same with the Templars, the Knights Templars. Things have been infiltrated. I do
Levels.
find it, yeah, I just find it interesting that the Freemasons are so targeted. And of course, I don't know enough about them, but I am aware that when they get high up, it all turns very evil. Turns very
Well,
evil.
something that was put out the other day, I think it was off Redacted. I was watching it, and the suggestion was was, and I kind of called it before they even got to the end. I'm like, oh, I can see where this is going. You get asked the ultimate question at the 33rd level, sort of thing, and you're asked to basically desecrate the Bible in some way because in order to be a part of these things, you generally have to have some sort of a belief in a higher power of some sort. As I've come to understand it, I mean, hey, anybody out there that actually knows, feel free to jump on and let us know. But, we're just going to guess our way through this because I ain't making no deals. But that you're asked to desecrate the Bible. If you say no, oh, yeah, you get to be 33-degree Mason, you're wonderful, and that's it. That's where the information stops. If you go and do it, well done, you also passed the test, but now we're going to actually open your door, show you door number 2, and then your education continues, sort of thing.
Look, I think that's something that's always, it's important. I've been doing a lot of, with the assistants, I call him my spiritual guru, just trying to go through all the different scriptures, etc. And he said, this is how we need to, instead of saying Almighty God, we say the Father with no name, because he is referred to as creator and source. And that way there's no mistaking the Father that we are speaking of.
Yeah.
And, the answers are within, and they say, we are made in God's image, the All-Father's image. And this is the thing, the divine spark is within us. That is the breath that he puts into us, and he's the only one that can do that. And I think most religions have that in common, as far as I know. There is that one Almighty Father that is the creator. So anything that's evil or in the dark, they're copycats, and they can't create life. They can't give it that spirit or that soul. So that's all a part of it.
I've always had trouble with priests who want to be father. It's like you're trying to emulate something here. That doesn't ever washed with me, and it really stuck out. I think it was Pantera's album "Vulgar Display of Power." I'll show off my heavy metal again.
I've got that CD.
I had a feeling you might. I'll call no man my father who's no closer than a stranger.
Yeah. Well put.
So,
well put.
It really rang. When I heard that line, I'm like, that rings like a bell. Because I always knew there's something wrong with that. It's not right. And Odin was the All Father. As the mythology goes.
With the Norse, Odin's eye.
I've kind of just expanded things to it's the universe. You can call it spirit, and it brings back to what I started this podcast with. Is it a bottle? Is it a flasher? There's probably several. Throw your other words if you're watching this live. I know our live count's a bit low because we're competing against other shows at the moment. But
that was something else with the English language. It's been so bastardized. When you go back into the older languages, there's a certain tone and a way it comes off, rolls off the tongue. And they say, because that of course goes into the energy, frequency and vibration side of things, the way we speak and say things, because it really is, the English language is just an abomination. Absolutely shocking. But
unfortunately, it's the only one I'm fluent in. I'm working on a few others, piece by piece.
You were going flasher before.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. It was actually part of my, ideas that I had to share, because seeing we actually gone on the very spiritual sort of a tangent, I thought you might find this fascinating, that and you know, in association with my I don't know, my a strange desire to learn the German language. I don't know why. I just have this uncontrollable desire to do so. Today I reached my 108th day streak. And I know you like the numerology construct, which is why when we spoke yesterday, should we do a podcast yesterday or today? We're like, hang on, tomorrow's 9th of the 9th, and 2025 adds to 9. And 108
and we're at 9 o'clock.
Adds to 9. And that's why we chose 9 o'clock today. And tomorrow, this will be re-podcasted to the channels I couldn't go to today due to conflicts at 9 a.m. So the pattern of 9 is just ringing.
And whatever, however you multiply 9 out, when you add those numbers up and break them down again, you get to 9 again. So
and
this is the thing.
When you go around the circle of degrees, you know, so 360, 36, 9, 45 degrees, 45, 9, 90 degrees, and 90, 9, 180 degrees, 18, you know, and it just at every quarter point it does that. There is
something in it. There's definitely something in it, and those people, the code breakers, as they call them, like all of the events that have occurred throughout history, like even 9/11, there is there's something within those numbers. And then you go and have a look at the measurements of the pyramids, for example, and they equate to the Schumann resonance, or you know, the frequency of Earth. So there is definitely something there.
And the pyramid inch actually works out to the shape of the Earth and everything like that. It's like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's right. That as well.
True measurement for everything. And I can't remember exactly how the mathematics works. I remember reading it a long time ago that fundamentally the mathematics of the shape of the Earth can be sorted out from the way the pyramid's constructed. And the fact that it's placed right where it is on the Earth is very significant to
the ley lines.
Yeah, ley lines, bang dead center. It's a huge energy point.
And water. That was also another common denominator with all of these amazing ancient structures and sites. Yes. Yeah, like artesian water basins, beautiful, you know, fresh, pure water underneath them. There was also the connection with Mercury, and of course they're all aligned perfectly to true north, north, south, east, west, etc. Like, just amazing, those builders. But
things that, you know, the standard run-of-the-mill history is, it was just a bunch of slaves pushing rocks on logs.
Bullshit.
Okay, righto. Yeah. They seem to demonstrate a knowledge of things that you and your stupid theory cannot fucking explain.
When you go and have a look at some of those shows that within universe within you, you know how with the when you do it like an X-ray vision, I suppose, of the pyramids. And it was the king's chamber and the queen's chamber. And it does sort of look like electrical. There's something sort of like technology about it. So this guy...
Well, it's not exactly built in a practical way for accessibility, for example.
Beatles lyrics, number 9. Yeah.
Familiar with that one. But I have had Megadeth's 99 Ways to Die running around my head lately.
You're funny. You are funny. So listen, I want to know what you think of this idea. I've put it out there to the other states who are having this gathering on the 13th. Remember during COVID how they did this, where they had the news presenters, you have 2 news presenters, and then they'd fill the screen with, say, 6 different stations, and then the whole screen would be filled with all saying exactly the same thing. So I thought, let's replicate that, because the government would hate that. This people, I said, what we need to do is to quote the Constitution. So just the basics, the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1900, imperial as proclaimed and gazetted on the 1st of January 1901, is the supreme written law of this nation. It is a restraint on government, and they are bound to it and must obey it. That's the thing. And I specifically say it is the supreme written law because First Nations were here first. So their law's not written.
They are
I want
bound
to
to it as we are. Like putting us all on that same, we're all on the same playing field here. This is the book that says how we conduct ourselves. If we have to stand by it, then so do you. And it's one of those things I actually got from
it's more of a restraint on government, Betty. It's more of a restraint on government, like all the courts, people, and so that would be like in the court, you've got to adhere to the Constitution. Is it for law? But who makes the laws? It is there for the purpose of being restraint on government. That's why they've tried to bury it.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I totally agree. And again, as citizenry, wherever we move, we still have to confine within those realms. We need to understand that in order to obviously hold them to account and others. So we're, and it's one of those things you hear Darren and Daryl kind of remind people of quite often too, that, the remedy is, quite often within the legislation in itself. And when it's not, you can seek the higher ruling of Constitution and previous case law and whatnot. So it is up to us, especially when they're putting in laws and you look at it and you go, I know that's fucking wrong. I may not know the answer right now, but I know it's wrong. So how do I find the answer? Let's start looking.
Look, I think this is the other thing we say. It's they're the hidden ones at the top pulling the strings on all the governments, the puppet masters.
Yeah.
So I sort of look at it and think, well, I really don't care who that is. How are they implementing the effects on the people? How are they implementing the control on the people? And that is through governments creating laws and legislation. So that's why we're addressing things in the High Court to remove it. See, this is the other thing. There's no point in removing a puppet and making that your aim, because they'll just put another puppet in and they'll just continue on. So if you invalidate the act, they can't repeat what they've done.
Yeah.
You see, so that's the point of it. So
and again, we're not waiting to vote them out, just shut them down.
No, but the thing is, the voting system's not going to work because it's rigged. That's a problem. It's so corrupt. The only way we're going to do this is through the High Court, and to date, they haven't made any incorrect decisions. The people waking up in big numbers, and the other way would be to get good people because if you got good people in government, they can just repeal the acts. They can remove them. Rex Kite treaty must stop. Look, this is the other thing. That's another case for the High Court. Look, we need plaintiffs for cases. There's a very good case to get rid of the treaties. To begin with, it is, if you look at the Biosecurity Act, it's section 478 and 479 of the Biosecurity Act, the Commonwealth Parliament have written in who recommendations into our legislation. Now, that in itself is a section 44(1), disqualification on the grounds of adherence, obedience, and allegiance to a foreign power. So the case would be that the Constitution only gives the Commonwealth and the state parliaments the lawmaking abilities. And that is that's indivisible. They cannot put someone else's in. So those two sections of the Biosecurity Act are invalid. The other thing then is you look at treaties. can only be entered into between two or more independent nations. So the UN treaty is null and void, so is the Unidroit Lima Agreement and this latest one, WHO. And all the treaties that government have done with First Nation, null and void. They're absolutely null and void. They're invalid. However, if First Nations wish to treaty, between themselves, the tribes, mobs, what have you, they're doing that under, their tribal law. So that's different. But this government's operating under the Constitution. They can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that one actually. Look, civilians, not citizens. This is the other ridiculous thing. This is within 5 days of sending off it was just under 3,000 covenants. I sent that out to all the attorneys generals, the governor general through the High Court, like as many senators as I could. I sent it over to England, and I sent it everywhere. Within 5 days, it was just sovereign citizens all over the place. It was like, what the hell? Because and there you are recognising and respecting the sovereignty of the Solomon Islands people. Like, come on. See, this is the thing. The people of the Commonwealth as a collective are the sovereign beneficiaries of this nation by inherent right.
Yeah.
So this is why they don't like the word. They're trying to get rid of anything to do with religion, soul. They're just trying to disconnect everything. But
it's interesting. Well, we're going down the sovereign citizen thing, so I thought it'd be funny to actually have a look at what Wikipedia had to say about it, because
what are they going to say?
it is one of these places, a great place to find a joke. But before we start, I thought I'd like to call attention to something I like to do that my mother taught me to do in order to help me learn, because I was never very good at literacy, and that was to break words apart into pieces, and then you can start to see what they are. And an element that occurred to me is the word rain comes into here.
Yes.
So before we go any further, let's just unpreparedly have a quick look at what rain means. And we're obviously not talking about that which comes from the sky. Actually, I should probably go define.
Because monarchs reign. REI.
Exercise of sovereignty. So isn't it interesting that to define the word is within it? It's very frustrating when you're trying to learn something and they use the same word to define the word. Exercise of sovereign power as by a monarch. The period during which a monarch rules. Dominance or widespread influence. So we can see a specific sort of a pattern sort of coming through here, but you could internalize this concept, as to reign over one's own body.
Yes, absolutely.
Own lands,
absolutely.
One's own family, things like this. You can see the darkness in this concept because it's about power and ruling over, being an overbearing concept in itself, the way the word has been given.
Look, I think this is the other thing that's been
to exercise sovereign power. You know what I mean? And like you think about it, for historically, this is how it's been used. A monarch, an object, a person of oneage over many, dominating their authority. It's written in their own words. These are not my words. These are the words assigned to the value of the word reign, and the word reign brings you back to sovereign, which is interesting. Like, I'm playing this as it happens. I didn't actually plan it out this far.
But the thing is, this is another thing that's been twisted around. Good government or good kings or, monarchs, they are there to serve the people. That's how it should be.
Well, that's the
That's how it
response.
all should be.
That's where Spider-Man's coming into it. You know, with great responsibility comes great power. Well, great power becomes great responsibility. I'm totally fucked that up, but you get the idea. You know, with great power comes great responsibility. There it is. Got it right this time. Third time's a charm.
But it's just, it's just being twisted and manipulated. But look, basically, I did some notes with it as well. This sovereign citizen it's a term, it's a label that has been designed to discredit people who speak of sovereignty, rights, or constitutional law as unlawful. And it's exactly what they're doing. So in law, the people are the sovereign authority, and members of parliament, the ministers, the High Court, they are servants and trustees under that sovereignty. So the reason they come up with this is the thing as well, you know, of course, it's an oxymoron. They're two total opposites. So they cancel themselves out. It's an inversion, it's a corruption, so therefore null and void. Its purpose, of course, is to discredit, ridicule, and delegitimise any lawful claim that the people have against usurping authorities. So the people are the beneficiaries and inheritors, and government is nothing but servant, trustee, and agent. It's just an absolute false flag of words. It infuriates me. I mean, I look and I think, how dare you? How dare you? And I think they've done it. Maybe it was another shake-up to get people to say, hold on a minute. I am not going to sit back and be silent. I'm not going to be intimidated by your utter bullshit. You know, we conduct ourselves, as I keep saying, honourably and in good conscience. We are the ones that do things peacefully. I know it does. Peacefully and lawfully, you know, we take things through the courts. And that is the most, you know, bizarre thing with it, even with this stupid four corners bullshit. You know, with the
I still haven't watched it. I haven't
watched the whole thing. I just watched a small snippet of it. But, you know, even the people in the common law courts, it is common law. But they're taking it through the courts. I'll tell you what, this is how it is. The government, with what they have done, what I started on earlier, saying they are guilty of mass murder. They are guilty of malfeasance because they are in fiduciary positions and positions of trust. So they knew, I tell you now, this wasn't an experiment. They knew exactly what the fuck they were doing, what they were doing. And then you've got the other aspect where they have concealed, information, you know, gagging the doctors, etc., that it was life-saving almost. You could say, to get that information, to be able to make an informed decision and give informed consent. So without that, you're putting your life at risk, basically. So you got that side of things. And then you've got just what they're doing now with this all over the news. Like, you never even really heard. The first time I heard it was with Train Brothers. But what they are doing is, it is I said an act of domestic terrorism, but they are terrorists because they are terrorizing the people. They're putting fear and anxiety into the homes over this fabricated bullshit. Absolute fabricated bullshit.
And again, it's crazy. The sovereign citizen movement is another
movement. See, freedom movement. That's what they've done. Freedom movement.
That's what they're calling sovereign citizen movement. And what I like here, not to be confused with sovereign individual.
Now that is interesting. I would never walk around saying that as an individual. That's up to whomever. But as I say,
it's an interesting idea, though. Like, I mean, just to play with the idea, you know, hi, I'm a sovereign individual. Yeah, you're a sovereign citizen. No, I'm a sovereign individual. Fuck you.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I'm with the collective. I'm one of the sovereign beneficiaries. The people of the Commonwealth are as a collective. It's bloody insane. The correct word, rather than, I don't like the word citizen. I hate it. Always have done. Denizen. Look up
Here we go.
Demism.
This is gold here. By Wikipedia's own thing, self-ownership.
There you go. Yeah.
Is sovereign individual, also known as sovereignty of the individual sovereignty. So here we go, much like the way Darren and Daryl would go, well, the remedy's in the legislation. Well, the remedy's in the Wikipedia propaganda. They've given us a way out to their own thing. No, I'm individually sovereign, which is a very interesting idea that I've heard coming through a lot of interesting spiritual concepts. You know, you hear, those of us who are working towards the true enlightenment, are owning our sovereignty and things like this. And to see this, it's like, wow, even the bullshit mechanisms can't deny that. So it's good that they've opened with that and a link to help us understand that, no, we're not sovereign. Don't use the term sovereign citizen. When accused of it, say no. Sovereign individual, check the Wikipedia link. Don't you think it was on the internet? It must be true. Much like your mainstream media bullshit and all your laws, they're on the internet too.
I say I'm a Commonwealth national or a living woman. It's absolutely crazy. It's crazy times.
Play with it,
Yeah.
If anything, the best way to probably deal with any of this crap is to play the Jesus card and go, why do you say that I am? Don't admit nothing. Jesus was the first one to teach us admit nothing. Chopper Read hammered it home. But I like to draw the Marilyn Manson construct. Let's take Jesus and Chopper and put them in the same sentence. Why the fuck not? God. Because that's the kind of lunacy that a bogan thinks through. But anyway, apparently we're all anti-government conspiracy theorists, vexatious litigants, tax protesters. Can you show me a person on this earth other than the people reaping in the taxes as if they somehow planted or sowed the seeds or had anything to do with it, other than those who are reaping the benefits of taxing? Is there anybody who is not protesting the idea of it, even if it's just in the quiet regions of their own family circle? Please, is there anybody out there that says, I love paying shitloads of tax, please fuck me harder?
Everyone is. This is the thing. They're pushing everything so hard, and we've got to push back, but we do it the right way, peacefully and lawfully. So I mean, this is. I got an idea. How's this for an idea? The people of the Commonwealth, we get as many as possible, 100,000, 1 million. We do a class action, take it into the High Court, challenge the Commonwealth Parliament, the Australian government, and we ask the question, what are you? Are you a trading corporation or a foreign trading corporation? Because they'll have to answer.
Yeah.
And once that's we know that they are, we then say, well, you've been operating unlawfully since 1973. So every bit of every act that you've written, every law, null and void from this point forward, from 73 forward, unless, of course, there might be five that are okay, that actually are for the good, peace, order and good governance, but the other, 3 million, 4 million, straight in the bin. It was just a thought. We've got to do something. I mean, the other thing is, of course, as I've said the blooming mass murder and the terrorism, they are guilty of that, and they are guilty of the fraud, theft and treason, because this government are facilitating foreign interest. They're giving them tax exemptions, they don't pay any tax, and they're profiteering in the trillions. Yet our country's bankrupt. It's freaking insane what's going on. Insane. That's fraud, theft and treason. They've sold us out. This is the other thing. How do people like Clive Palmer and what's her name, Gina Reinhart and whoever, what gives them the right to take what belongs to the people as well? But we
Well,
do have to stop
again,
this.
you know, the Greenies and the Labor in particular
Oh,
continuously harp on about, you know, the rights of the Indigenous and, you know, and their sovereignty, you know, while handing over the wealth of their sovereign land as the custodians of this land, they're taking it and handing it over to these people. Wow. How do you
look,
explain that?
I don't know. Look, all I know is with all the government organisations, in particular, to assist with First Nations, they're just laundering. They're just money laundering. All the money that they have collected or put into these organisations that are allegedly helping. I mean, they're helping the First Nations youth, for example,
Mm.
to be rehabilitated, but they're needing to be rehabilitated because of the situation that the
Yep.
government have created for them. So
Problem
it's very,
reaction solution.
that's it exactly. And then you look at, was it 40 billion that was spent on the voice referendum? 40 billion?
Yeah, somewhere about there, if not more.
Like, you look at all the money that has come in allegedly to help First Nations. Every single First Nation should be a millionaire. Could be a millionaire by now if the money actually went to where it was meant to go. So that really makes my blood boil. Wherever you go, it's always got, we wish to acknowledge, the original custom bullshit you do. You're screwing them over.
Because those ones who are doing it are usually given a, you know, or part of an organization, if not the individual themselves, getting a kickback from these things. You know, I've come across many, Indigenous people, they're not getting a thing. There's a hell of a
No,
lot
they're
of them
not.
living in the park just down the road.
Mm.
These people are living in squalor. Don't tell me that these millions and millions of dollars are going to them. Why are they living in a park?
No, look, it's they're just shitting in their face continually. Look at the
It's
referendum
right
for
there for
council.
anybody to see. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess when you live in Sydney or Melbourne and you don't see Aboriginal people because they've been driven out in one way or another, you know, but you come up north and you see what's going on and you're like, it's a very different story in reality. Yeah.
they are
Even when,
desecrating this country.
oh,
They're
yeah.
absolutely desecrating it, Betty. Desecrating it. There was a few years, I can't remember when it was now, 20, when there was a lot of focus on Santos it was around the time of the Train Brothers massacre, actually. Santos are up there, coal seam mining and fracking, and they're going to contaminate and destroy our artesian water basin, and they're clearing areas of the Pilliga. So that's a main filtration system because of all the winds off the desert, etc. So it sort of settles. It's a filtration before, for the rest of the country, the southern half of the country, and it's very, very sacred area up there. So the Gomeroi, there was Deb and Donna up there that were really working flat out trying to make get it awareness up in that area. I tell you, they have got absolutely no respect for our First Nations, and this is the problem. And I've spoken with a couple of First Nations sisters as well. Government will go around and they'll just keep going around, all the different First Nations until they find someone that agrees.
Yep.
And one of my First Nation sisters said they might
Big
even
bag
go
of
up
cash.
to.
Will you take it to sell out?
Well,
Oh, okay. Next. I just
this
get
is the
going.
thing.
Big bag of cash. Who's going to sell out their people first? You know, it's
Yeah,
Pocahontas all over again without the Disney movie.
yeah. Look, what this is. So Felicia's a lovely lady. She's from Yorta, and she was saying that what they've been doing now. So I started to say, we didn't want council as a third tier of government. The Constitution won't allow it, but they brought that in anyhow, just shat in our faces after a referendum. We voted no to the voice, and they say they're just going to go ahead and do it anyhow. Like,
Yeah.
come on, people. We are the supreme and ultimate authority of this nation. They are servants. They are the ones that are belligerent to us. How dare they? But my sister was saying that what they are doing now is they are going around and speaking with the tribes and trying to offer them things like, oh, we'll set up another great facility to help your youth, or, you know, rehabilitation for this, and I just said, shove it up your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Every single,
200
you
years
know.
they've been telling them jam it. It hasn't worked for them then. Why would it work for them now? And I mean, it's true in a lot of ways, and I'm sure there's people out there, even in the audience, who don't agree with what I'm about to say, but sorry, it's the way I see reality. As to me, it's the fucking truth. These people have had a very good grasp on reality for a very long time. That's why they've stood so strong and proud against what some would say colonialism, but you know, I think in a lot of ways our culture is 100% fucking wrong.
Look, I sort of disagree.
People, I think, we offer, we've created things, in a lot of cases, I'm not like 100% like, I totally fucked that up,
We're indoctrinated into a certain way of thinking. That's the problem.
That's it. Our perception of reality is fucking wrong. And I'm not saying that theirs is right, but we need to start grabbing the pieces that are right from each point, is where I really wanted to go with that. I think there's a piece of the puzzle everywhere across the globe.
Absolutely there is. And this is the thing, as I keep saying, this is happening worldwide. Humanity is on the edge of extinction. And this is a time where we are going to be the authors of our own story and create our future. We keep history, but we must all stand together, shoulder to shoulder and side by side. It's the only way we're going to do that. And it's all about respecting each other.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I mean, this is what makes the world go round. And you'll notice with it, you just don't hear about debate anymore. Everyone's got their own, opinions on things. You respect it. We can all live together. That's all there is to it. So they keep turning us against each other. And I think this is really, you've got to think, in this last 5 years, there have been more natural disasters. There's just been wars. There's everything you can possibly think of has happened over the last 5 years. Distraction. We had, during COVID, right at sort of the beginning, I guess in that first year, the world was waking up. Everyone knew something wasn't right. What did they do? Black Lives Matter. What happened? Everyone fell into the Black Lives Matter. It's like, hold on. All life matters.
But it was a division, because it became Black Lives Matter, and everybody's bowing to the black fella because all life started in Africa or some other ridiculous.
And it was all staged. It was all staged.
Yeah, it was.
Everything is staged. So what's happened now?
A polarity, a natural opposition arises, which is, hang on, no, all lives matter. I'm sure the vegans were upset that the goats and the cows weren't mentioned. Like, come on, and all us meatitarians were concerned about the livelihood of carrots. Those poor things were ripped from their homes and their heads cut off so that you could have a carrot soup. It's all perspective. It's all a point of view.
And look, as everyone's sort of waking up to what's going on and recognizing people are dying around us, adverse reactions, and people not feeling the same since they've had that. And then on top of that, everything's getting, cost of living's just out of control. There's no such thing as inflation. That is another fiction that they have created.
The cost of government.
Yeah, it's taxes. That's all it is. Taxes. So people are waking up and to the corruption of government. So what have they come up with? So now they've tried the divide in as many ways as possible. So this is where they did the Muslims around St. Patrick's Cathedral in Melbourne. All they were doing was a religious walk that they've done for the past 12 years. but it was funded to make it bigger and highlighted. And all of a sudden, we've got these Christians going in. We've got to defend our culture. We've got to, stand up. Like, we do have to stand up, but what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Like, you don't have to stand up. This Muslim religious group didn't do anything wrong. So straight away, you've got, okay, we're going to do religion against religion, Muslim against the Christians. And this is what I say. So you people say that you're what happens to United We Stand? And if you're a true Christian, love thy neighbour, do not judge others, treat others or do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Like, where's that all gone out the window? It's crazy. And now, with the NSN, to begin with, I thought, these boys, when they first sort of, like, I didn't like what they did with some of the early protests, but then I started thinking, okay, they're standing up and these young men could be, okay. And then it's just all gone to utter shit, the racism and come on, this has got to be staged. The other very interesting thing with those young boys is that they are the ones that are responsible for new legislation coming in. So it was because of them that they they amended the Criminal Code Act to 2025 with the hate speech in it. Now, that needs to be taken, that needs to be invalidated. So what I'm getting at here is they put this show on for something that is it's a sensitive topic.
Yeah.
So, but in reality, what it has done is it is another control mechanism with them saying you can't act a certain way, you can't wear certain things, you can't say certain things. So that's this is the guise. Everything they do, it's not for this purpose. In reality, it's under the guise that they're doing it for this reason, but it's really to control us totally. So all of that shit needs to be invalidated because it is not. It's not a crime to offend someone. It's only a crime to incite violence.
Yeah.
Or slander someone.
How can it possibly be a crime? How do you prove intent on something like that? Especially when somebody's willful intent is to be offended. If you're going out of your way to be offended, and you see it, we say some of these transgenders who go to restaurants to intentionally gather a video of themselves being offended. It's like you've decided you were offended before you even got there. You're just waiting for somebody to do it the way you want it so you can carry on and jump up and down about it. So, and it emphasizes the philosophical point that, you have to, it's a conscious decision to be offended, because I can also make the decision to say, it doesn't bother me. But these people not only choose to be offended, they go out of their way to make sure they're offended. That's a whole different kettle of fish. And it's not just a transgender thing. It's a very leftist sort of thing, the woke, because, and again, I want to, look at the idea of the Great Awakening, which is a process of continuing to awaken and get better. Whereas I'm woke, I've already figured it out. I've got my fucking diploma. I'm done. I know exactly where I am, and you can't fucking change my mind. It's an immovable solid, that has decided that it is a rock, and I am only a rock, whereas we're a more malleable. No, we're awakening. I can be whatever I choose to be right here, right now, in a real sense, not the I've decided to change my gender sort of shit. But no, I can actually choose to not be offended. I actually choose to be peaceful here. I can choose to let the bullshit that you've just spewed roll off me, laugh at it, call it out for the crap that it is, and move on and enlighten.
Yeah. This is the other thing. So much of this like with the woke group and the transgender, it really is something that's been fed by government. And a lot of it is, the grooming of our children. So so you're going to make laws saying that, you can't do a Nazi salute or wear a swastika, which is a very ancient, it's a very, very sacred ancient symbol.
Yes.
So, but it's
And that
okay
should
for you.
invoke a question in itself.
No, but it's okay for you to have drag queens reading story time and putting books about, the first sexual experiences for children that are 6, 7, and 8 years of age. Like, what the F? We're getting offended. Well, not offended, but there's been an entire twist around of morals. So,
It's
oh, it's
disgusting.
debauched,
I'm
absolutely
not
debauched.
offended by it. Like, no, it's straight out. This is disgusting, deplorable
Yeah,
behavior, and it is
yeah,
wrong on any level of morality.
yeah.
If
But
you
let's
can somehow explain away the most disgusting thing in the fucking world, you have a problem.
the thing of it is, you do whatever you want to do. Okay, this is the thing. Don't make judgment. So you can be woke, you can be transgender. Don't shove it in my face and expect me to, you know, believe your bullshit. Like, if you want to pretend to be a woman and you want to be called, a girl's name, that's fine. But don't shove it in my face. But this is the other thing. This is our children. These are our children. When it comes to our children, you stay the fuck away from them. And like, this is the other thing, which this bullying bullshit happened when my daughter was in school. That's when they started to bring in, the big signs. This school's got, anti-bullying or policy, no bullying policy. What they've been doing is they've been obviously MK ultering us and making people think we can be accepting of some things, but some things are unacceptable, such as when you are, teaching our children inappropriate things. But the bullying policies that they had at the schools were, if you're being bullied, just walk away and ignore it. Just walk away and ignore it. Well, I'm sorry that don't work. And back in the old days, when you were bullied, like, it's just a part of life. It's a part of, growing up and learning how things work. But the only way to deal with a bully is face on. So, I'd gone up to the school a couple of times. Someone handles,
It's funny you said that, because I seen something earlier regarding that sort of concept, and it's the idea. I was put forth by a military person of some sort. I'm kind of paraphrasing the idea. I would have brought it in if I had realized it was going to be relevant. I should have, because anyway, to paraphrase the idea, it is that the person committing the crime has no fucking respect for the government or authority, and has no fear of those elements or the victim. The only solution is to make sure that the aggressor fears the victim, to create balance.
Yeah, or the consequences, of their actions. This is where it all boils down to. Everyone must be accountable for their actions.
Of the actions ensues some sort of an authority sort of a scenario, and again, the leftist wokest sort of thing, the base element of what left used to sort of represent was the idea that we're all equal. Again, what the base element of what religion is supposed to be teaching is spirituality. The true force of light is that we're all the same. Whether you believe God actually put it in you, or you're a piece of God. Some would say that God fractured himself in some sort of what I kind of laughingly look at as a mental episode, or a fractured personality disorder, in a way that God just fractured itself in order to understand it, so it had to break it itself into so many different pieces to analyze the pieces, because as a whole it was too confused or something. It's the best I can conjure up into this, third density linear timeline kind of way of thinking, But at the end of the day, any way you look at it, we're all a piece of the same thing. Even if you want to go science and say, well, shit, we're all stardust, we're all star seed or something. There's another thing that gets thrown around in some, more spiritual realms as well. Well, we're all made up of the same shit. And if you really want to break it down to science, at its absolute, the accepted realm of how everything came was a big bang. So we all started from fuck all and somehow became everything. So we're all the same. We all come from the same thing. And this is where things get really fucking trippy, because now you got to accept that everything that you hate is a part of you too. And you have to accept that.
I think this is the thing that you don't
love that.
It's all about learning.
Not agree with it.
Yeah, it's all about learning. So I think they say obviously don't react when you're angry about something, and don't absorb bad things like hate or dwell on bad things. Acknowledge it and think positively. This is the other thing, as they say, we sort of manifest our own world to a certain degree. It's not just what we how we act or how we speak, our thoughts as well. So we are all
science. It's observable reality, and reality isn't reality until it's observed.
Yeah, but what do we observe? I mean, you want to go, deep into the different levels. I mean, the dimensions and the timelines all run concurrently, etc. I mean, look at this. Look at the spectrum of light. Okay, so you've got 300 mil ruler, and just say that's the spectrum of light, what we can see, the rainbow. Now, on that 300 millimeter ruler, our light spectrum, I think, is like 5.
Yeah,
there's a lot we can't see.
And it's
you know what I'm saying?
The atmosphere, the ability of the ocular components that we have.
The ether.
But we can sense a lot, especially when you start to really open up to things.
That's the thing. And this is what this is what the awakening is.
It
is to go deep, conduct yourself with in good conscience and with honor. We're all born with morals. It's you're taught to hate each other. This is the thing. So go by those instincts and your intuition. We've got to that's what we need to do. That's the way forward. That's the new world. And we've got to get back to grassroots, of course, the organic. We've got to, the whole world has got to change. There's got to be a new beginning, or let's go back to how it used to be. We are take. We need to be putting back and giving back, to this amazing earth that we are on, Mother Earth, that provides for everything. We need to be putting back twice as much as what we take, and we do need to respect all life forms. So I'm not a vegan, I eat meat, but there are ways to do things. And, I think it's important you do give thanks. Yeah.
I mean, I've heard from some people that The Gods Must Be Crazy is a racist movie, but at the same time, as a young kid watching The Gods Must Be Crazy, it taught me to respect the idea that if you're going to hunt an animal and take its life for the meat, then you should, honor it and respect it. Say, sorry, I need to eat.
Yeah.
And respect, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, at the same time, it was told to me it was a racist movie by an African fella. He's going, well, if you thought your whole society would die because of a fucking, a bottle, you'd be offended too. I'm like, but didn't you look at the idea that there was an African nation there at war at the same time? The Bushman wasn't the same as the African nation at war any much. But what about the fact that, hang on, our white fella there backed out of his driveway to put fucking bloody letter in the letterbox and then drove back up. Like, come on, there was a lot of shit canning going in on that movie. It wasn't just about your culture, man. Did you see that? Oh, I didn't think about it that way.
Read that for me, Betty. God, I need 2 pairs of glasses.
Was hanging out
Hanging with Jody and
the other night. Could see blue in the Bros energy field. I have found when I get to know people better, I start to see their energy fields. Awesome.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Wholeheartedly agree with that sort of stuff. It's the kind of
There's
realm of things
lot going on.
delve into more because
There's a lot. Yeah. Well,
I've experienced things that would definitely possibly put the movement to bad name if I talk about it too much.
That totally went over. What the heck was that?
No, I'm just saying I agree with this person, and I see get things.
This is the thing about becoming more attuned to, trust your intuition, your instinct. Let's start, awakening our senses. It is the awakening. So we've got to, got to do the right thing, but we've got to get the country back too.
Yes. Well, we got to tread carefully because, not everybody's at certain levels too. Everybody's awakening at different points. And that's another hard part to deal with, particularly when doing things on this medium where we're addressing a large audience. So, in my day-to-day sort of interaction, the first thing, I try to figure out is who am I dealing with? What level?
Look into people.
Learn who, you don't just walk up and go, hey, did you know the Pope's a pedophile or some shit like that? Like, that's the last way you never open a conversation with that. That's a horrible thing. Not that I'm saying the Pope is a pedophile, but there are people out there that are just so fucking into this shit that they have no ability to communicate anymore because that's all they see is this. And they just want to engage. You throwing negativity at people.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, this is the other thing. We know what's going on, and we know of all the evil. So, and there is so much, and they really are after the children. That is what it's all about, the underlying part of it. So, other than trying to, do things on the surface and pull down this structure. Look, I will say, one of the things, the greatest reward for me, just, when I started to speak out, and then you're going backwards and forwards and just meeting people in different states, like it nearly brought me to tears when people come up to me and say, Jackie, we listen to you. And, just what I try and do is get people to see the most bare bones basics, the corruption in government. And then they start to, dig further and further. And they said, and we started to look, and then we went way down the rabbit hole. And I just went, oh my God, give us a hug. Give us a hug.
How hard did it hit you when you hit the floor?
Like, this is the thing. We've just got to try not to, there's so much bad going on. We've got to put that good energy up there. And that's, meditation, breathing, but, and fighting it from the system. Fighting the system.
I think that's a very important thing for people to realize too, is that, you've got to take that time for yourself. You can't let this shit consume you.
Yeah.
So many people I've seen over time and things I see in the comments, and I'm like, guys, I get it. Been there and done that, but you got to breathe. We can get through this sort of shit, and it depends on what level you're at and where you're going at it. And there is a desire to just want to scream at the world and let everybody know what you found out this week or last week. As part of that big awakening thing is, you want to share that information. You want your fellow man to wake up alongside you, but not everybody's ready to do that. It's to put it in a figurative sense. It's like turning over. Or waking up one day realizing everybody else is asleep around you, but nobody else is ready to wake up, so you decide to throw a fire hose on them. Now they're all pissed off at you. They were happily asleep. You know,
But
there might be a
some of them
nicer
might.
way to wake them up.
Yeah, well, look, this is the thing. I think a lot more people are waking up. This is why they have started with the division of religion against religion, and then they splinter it down. Then you've got the race against race. You've got the NSM that are absolute just white supremacy, and then you had them arguing with Nick Patterson. Well, you're white, aren't you? Blah blah blah. Like it's
Baiting
if
situation.
people cannot see that this is an absolute freaking stage show. It's crazy. Stop biting. Stop reacting. You know, there are ways to go about
Laugh
things.
because it's so fucking
Laugh
shit.
at it. Well, look, and there's a difference
would you like me
between
to take
sharing.
a quick break here because you know my bladder's reached optimum capacity.
Oh, you're a dag.
If you don't, yeah, I do my best. You know, unfortunately, I'm pretty confident there won't be a dag at the end of this, but you know, there might be a dag within this film clip or something. So, if you don't mind, we'll have a short interval, and we'll come back to it. We might actually get to the point we originally were going to talk about it. And no insult in that. I've thoroughly enjoyed this conversation, and I love the way that we've just gone on a complete tangent.
We go for hours.
Got started.
You and I have sat back and spoken for another hour or two, even when the show's ended. God,
I know.
we go down some wild tangents. But it's good.
I love it.
Yeah, it's good.
Anyway, let's do this quick little lyric video that I conjured up.
I'm going to go grab a drink.
Yep, we'll do that. I'll see you soon.
All right.
Well, that worked out really well.
That was bad. I can't hear it unless I turn an arrow on, and all I got was
Yeah.
drink more. Yeah,
Yep. Sips,
which
ladies
is
and gentlemen. Drinking in Aussie mateship and friendship and all the good reasons to sit down and have a drink with your friends.
look. I even grabbed one of my daughter's cans. It's a bit gross, just so you're not drinking alone.
Oh, that's it. That'd make me an alcoholic, and we wouldn't want that now, would we?
We wouldn't want that. Well,
So I think we've delved into, you know, the side objects a little bit, you know, and as we said the other day, it's the quickening, and I just couldn't help but throw this little clip in there just for fun.
The sensation you're feeling is the quickening. It's the quickening! Yes!
So whether you're a fan of crazy sci-fi movies that want to hack people's heads off, like The Highlander, from which I grabbed that from, or you're a Bible nut, one way or the other, the quickening seems to be upon us in some way, strange element or another.
look, time is flying. Every second person is saying the same thing.
Mm.
Hours, days, weeks are just disappearing. Like
and the pain in the body that goes with it. It's just,
that.
you know, as we readjust to what the fuck is going on. But look, you know, I think we've danced with that devil just enough right now. Let's actually bring it in to kind of what we were supposed to sort of deal with. But I think what we've said is very important. Anyway,
Yeah, look,
discount the last hour and a half. Let's look at what the mainstream media is trying to do to target our good friend Heidi, Mike Palmer. I don't really know the others myself. You know, I know Mike and I don't know Heidi.
I know Zev. I haven't met Heidi face to face, but because she's in Queensland, I know Zev. Zev doesn't live far from me, actually. Derek Belloc. Well, I don't have much time for Derek Belloc. I know he's been helping a few people, but overall he's a con artist. And, you know, they've got to do some good in order to get some form of credibility. But Desi, like, this is the other thing. It's this is what I mean about them doing things and putting things in our faces to get a reaction. And it just, you know, it makes me want to open up again and say, what happened at Port Arthur?
Yeah.
Now, we know that was a setup. 40 eyewitness statements, you know, sealed for a further 75 years. Sorry?
Where's the trial? The man is guilty. Let's have a trial. That's all. As far as I'm concerned, the only argument you need for the Port Arthur thing is, okay, he's guilty. Prove it. Have a trial.
Well, 40 eyewitness statements said it wasn't Martin Bryant. They had refrigerated trucks on site prior. The doors had been nailed shut. All the eyewitnesses said absolutely not. And you've had like sniper experts from around the world. So it's absolutely impossible. And the gun he used was a gun that had been handed into police in either Victoria or New South Wales. How the hell did it get in the hands of Martin Bryant?
That was accused of selling him the ammunition and the weapons said we never sold him shit. He doesn't have a license.
Yeah, I read something else. I'm not sure if it was before. Actually, I'm not sure if it was on the same day, but I presume it was, where they were saying that he was meant to have killed a couple of people. But the witnesses are saying, no, he was 56 kilometres away having a cup of coffee in our cafe. It definitely wasn't him. Like this, these people stop at nothing. What are we going to do about it? This is where we are the supreme and ultimate authority of this nation. It is time that we stood up and did something. We've got a government sitting absent any lawful authority whatsoever. They are our servants and they are selling us out. Their allegiance is to foreign powers. Then you've got the Train brothers. I mean, that as well. Like nothing is adding up, and this is just the icing on the cake. I've not spoken to Desi or Marley for it'd probably be 3 years, 2.5, 3 years. Beautiful people, absolutely beautiful people.
Mm.
You know, and this is the thing. Nothing is adding up. 10 coppers, no body cam. Are you freaking kidding me? They've got their body cam on when they, pull you over for speeding. Like, this is it.
I mean, he just looks like an average Aussie to me. I don't know him. Never met the guy until I've heard the name around a bit, but
Lovely, lovely, lovely couple. This is the other thing. The irony of it all is, he would go to church. He was a great, great father. They're such good people. But once again, he's, I can't work out why Desi. Maybe because of the location. The other thing is apparently it's gold country. The property. That's the other thing we need to start looking at. What would they want the land for? Because with the Train brothers, that Santos wanted to run the gas pipe through their property, and they wouldn't have a bar of it. Like nothing added up. Nothing added up with that. And once again, as we know, they can set things up for over a 10-year, 20-year period. That is the first time I had ever heard the terminology sovereign citizen. First time.
Yeah, well, it's a term that obviously we've all been friends. Well, I mean, not so much you and I for a long time, but we met each other at Canberra for the first time. But I've known Darren for 20 fucking years, and we've all been in
Daryl
cycles and circles for a long time. So it's just interesting to see this term sovereign citizen pop up, and I'd never heard it till the mainstream media conjured it up.
Well, it's a terminology that was created in the US for the exact purpose of discrediting and ridiculing anyone that was trying to fight corrupt government. And this is the thing, the irony of it. It's like they are making claims and statements. This has been going on, even with COVID. There is no evidence. There is no foundation. There are no grounds for anything. They just make these fabricated stories up they're just fairy tales. Well, horror stories, actually, to fear the people. Someone put something up there for yeah.
And you look at the Wikipedia thing, this is the sovereign citizen movement, sometimes abbreviated as SovCits, usually by fuckwits, is it rhymes so well. I just couldn't help it. He is a loose group of anti-government activists, conspiracy theorists, vexatious litigants, tax protesters, and financial scammers found mainly in English-speaking common law countries. It's interesting they called the countries common law, because usually, again, it's another twisting of things, because there's these common law groups, but common law countries, the United States, Canada,
Commonwealth countries. See,
United
this is the thing.
Kingdom and New Zealand, aren't they the Five Eyes countries? They use Five Eyes countries instead of Five Eyes countries, which ties into a whole bunch of people, usually of the alleged sovereign citizen or SovCits, fuckwits, whatever you want to call it, who would say common law, and use it out of context. But that's just an observation of mine. Sovereign citizens have a pseudological belief system based on misinterpretations of common law. So here we go. You know,
It's interesting they never mention the Constitution. I find that very interesting.
They certainly evade certain facts that are very important to the
Yeah, and they twist and manipulate what, you know, I applaud anybody that is trying to stand up for their rights, defend themselves against a system that is just crushing us. It's freaking insane. Absolutely insane.
Well,
Look,
this
they
is
should be
the bag of insults right here. Anti-government
absolutely.
activists, conspiracy theorists, vexatious litigants, tax protesters. I mean, like I said before, who's not protesting the insane amount of taxes that these
Absolutely.
fly-by nations are subjected to?
Where's the
But
evidence of
apparently
any of their
financial
claims?
scammers, I think the biggest financial scammers in this country right now are the ones purporting this bullshit, are the ones who actually raping in the tax bloody benefits. Because according to government people themselves, from Monday 9 a.m. as a 9 to 5 worker to to Thursday 10 o'clock is all tax. You get to keep what's left at the end of Thursday and Friday. And then they're going to tax you when you spend that.
Oh, look, it's just enslavement. Look, as I said, we need to go back and use the Constitution. As I said, the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution is the supreme written law of this nation. And I always say written because First Nation law is spoken, sung, you know, in song lines, what have you. But I look at it and think we've got to stay in the system, fight the system, and expose the system. That's how we do it.
This is interesting when it goes to history. Also, see radical right, United States. Posse Comitatus. I'm not familiar with that one.
That's when it first
American far right again.
Yeah, that's when it first
America
popped up.
Militia, patriot movement. Like patriotism's now a bad word. Christian patriot movement again. Got to attack the Christians again. They're like, oh, Christian. Like, I thought the Jews were supposed to be the most persecuted people. Apparently, they're going for the Christians even harder. Tax protester history in the United States. It's very United States centric. I'm not surprised. It's Wikipedia, but yeah, it's
well, I guess they set the scene. The interesting thing when I was because I looked deep in, you know, I did a bit of an etymology.
Oh God!
Sorry, what did you come up with then?
White associated with white supremacist, anti-Semitic, this whole thing is just a giant bag of insults. I mean, the only thing they cite is lunacy.
They're the lunatics. We've got lunatics turning this place into an asylum. When I did the etymology, looking up for the covenants and what have you, I noticed in my grandfather's one, which I've got on the wall here, and looking, you know, through history, that the conspirators, and this is the thing, conspiracy theories are about the conspirators that are either, you know, the rulers or the authority. They're the conspirators. So conspiracy theorists are theorizing on what the fuck they're getting up to now to screw us over. That's what it's about. But, oh yeah, another twist.
I've got a document here from the FBI actually about conspiracy theorists. I cited in I actually found it because I was looking to create content for a friend of mine's band who I did a film clip for, and I've featured it many a times here. But within that, there is an FBI document. A document. I'm going to see if I can quickly dig up here. That basically states the biggest danger with conspiracy theorists is they actually find real conspiracies.
We're actually right.
Yeah,
we know what they're up to.
the biggest threat. They actually find
this
real
is why they've
conspiracy.
done. This is why they've done this now. So, and once again, everything they're claiming is totally flipped. So everyone's going in and out of the courts. How is that a danger? Why are they terrorizing, average Joe Blow watching the TV, and, making out as though it's a movement and, you've got to be concerned. God, it gets me so cross. I'm over it. This is the problem. Ditch said something about denounced government.
How do you perceive it? And they're trying to make these words,
twist
mean something.
Them and manipulate them. Yeah. The problem is if it's all very good just denouncing the system and, not complying and don't consent and everything else. But unless everybody does it, they'll pick you off and screw you over. Just because that's why I just we will get there.
Yeah, and I mean we're getting there as far as I'm concerned. Like, I mean, you roll the clock back, 10, 20 years ago, how many people could you have this conversation with? You certainly couldn't do what we're doing now. I mean, tonight's audience live is a little bit low, but we're up against a few other shows that are going on, and it's not a select, a designated time, but it'd be good 10,000 views within a day or two, easy. Like most of these podcasts are. So people are listening. People are waking up in mass amounts. Whereas once upon a time, it was once every month or so, I'd roll into a pub and just find some random fucking person and have a conversation. Oh, cool, you're one of them, right? Cool, you get it, no worries. And you have this isolated conversation around, and everybody else be like, what the fuck was all that about? I'm like, it's all that shit you don't understand. All that shit you tell me is crazy. We had a great yarn. Shame you couldn't get it.
Everything that they teach in the in the schools, the curriculums, everything you see on TV, everything put out by these authorities, purported freaking authorities. It's all just indoctrination. It's just a massive twisted manipulation. It really has been very stealth and systemic. They've moved us further and further and further away from nature. That's what and spirituality. They've been doing it for so long, people don't recognize, even just with the interaction, conversing with people face to face. People are too busy on their phones with these electronic devices, and instead of letting babies cry and straight away the screen up in front of the children with the indoctrination, like we have so got to they say it's a part of conscience and being creative to be bored, and it's all a part of learning in children, that it's good for them to sit there and be bored on occasions, because it expands the mind. The mind starts to think and create different things, but not with this in front of them. It's everything's being stepped in. Everything's being stepped in. Just walk away from bullies. Just walk away from bullies. We've got to be accepting. We've got to be accepting. We've got to be accepting. Well, no, I'm sorry. When I walked up to had to go at the school, because I'd gone up once about when Hannah was a little girl, there was a little boy that was being, too rough with the girls and pushing them. I went up once. I went up for the second time, walked into the principal's office, and I had the entire staff room in there by the time I'd finished with him. I said, I came up, I told you once. Now I'm going to tell you. Hannah has got our blessing to break his nose. You get that? That's how she's going to address it. She's not walking away. And I said, I'm the calm parent and the peaceful parent. If father comes up here, all hell's going to break loose. I just looked at him all and said, you know what you need to do? You need to bring back the strap. This is the thing, discipline is all a part of learning respect and boundaries. I'm serious.
Yeah, no, look, I get
Consequences for
it,
your
but
actions.
you know, I've heard the stories
I,
from the
I thought I was
abused.
horrible.
Oh, I've heard the stories from the abused children who were
Oh
belted
no,
black and blue. My parents and uncles
yeah,
and
but
aunts
hold on a
being
minute. That's
among them.
different. That's taking it to the extreme.
Yeah.
You know, the cane across the hand.
Well,
That's different.
so how do you regulate that kind of force? You know,
Oh,
you know,
it's
if we're
just
gonna,
a thing. It's a crack. I did. You know, I've never had that because the girls didn't get that. Look, it's the same principle as when we were kids. You stuffed up, and the local copper knew the community. And I guess, they're always rat bag kids. The copper would just take them behind the bus shelter and go, crack. Now
yeah,
get your ass home if I catch you out here again. It's what's needed sometimes.
Hmm.
It is what's needed. I shouldn't say that.
Well,
Only when it's needed. But
yeah, well, when no other option is left, it's like, okay, cool.
it's just we've become too soft,
if you're
Baggy.
not gonna, yeah, I get it.
We've become too soft.
We're at an emerging point, is the way I'm kind of looking at this. So, for some, they still need the old school shit because they're trapped in a lesser evolved state of mind, and perhaps the only thing they see is that kind of response, whereas that response to the wrong person is going to make things a hell of a lot worse. Again,
It didn't back in our day, though. I mean, this is the thing.
Now we're at a very different point in time. We can see that the quickening is.
Tell me about it.
So
my grandfather
every
joined the
case
army.
needs to be taken individually, and I don't think the current system is able to deal with it.
Because the current system is responsible.
Quickly.
They are responsible. They've changed the curriculum. They're teaching them utter effing bullshit.
Yes.
This is the other thing. For all this bullshit
I
with
have to
climate
agree
change.
with Rachel in a lot of ways. These days, discipline is economic starvation. She's saying discipline these days is money.
Yeah, it's money.
At this particular point. I mean, personally, I'm starving economically, and I haven't done anything but work my guts out. Hence, I do this network thing just to point out how pissed off I am about the fact that the government is starving us. But I did find that FBI thing too. I'm just going to bring it up here. Sorry, wrong one.
Yeah, that's true. What's it, Silvertail, is it? If you're preoccupied with the past, that's where you're stuck. No one cares. Sorry, facts. That's true.
Yeah,
that's
we need
true.
to move on to
you can't absorb it. You need to just
acknowledge. We do need to
learn from it, move on.
Yeah.
Yep. The majority is extremely. Well, this is the other thing, of course. We've got the rubber-soled shoes on now, so we don't have the electron transfer with the earth. They're doing everything they possibly can to stop, the pineal gland opening up. The clothes that we wear, are bad for the energy fields. The fluoride in the freaking water, the poison in the food. They're poisoning our air, our land, our water. Everything's got poison in it. And this is the thing with the teacher.
Above that.
Hey?
But we can rise above that. See, this is the thing. And I hear that and I see it, and I have these kind of discussions with a lot of people. Another friend of mine the other day had, I wouldn't say a blow up, but a bit of a heated discussion. You shouldn't drink this, and you shouldn't do that. And I'm like, oh, that's wonderful, but I don't do this, and this that you do. All right, so don't start throwing stones while you're living in a glass house. Is one way of looking at it. But at the same time, well, I'm doing my best to tap into the energy source in a way that I can transmute these things. So even if it has a negative connotation, if I focus on that and change it, perhaps we can.
Do what's right for you. It's everyone's an individual.
So you can't be telling everybody else what to do. But I have found this document. I've got it ready to go. And this does come from an FBI. It says the FBI assesses the anti-government identity based. And I found this. This is actually from good 7-8 years ago. This document. Oh, well, there you go. 2020. Sorry, so 5 years ago.
Good night, Rexy.
But the important line to look at here is another factor. So you can see my cursor moving around, hopefully. Another factor driving the intensity of conspiracy theorizing in the United States and the subsequent threat from conspiracy-minded extremists is the uncovering of real conspiracies or cover-ups involving illegal, harmful, or unconstitutional activities by government officials or leading political figures from the FBI themselves.
Yeah, we know it. We know it. The most dangerous criminals are those that sit in government or, authorities and corrupt police, etc. They are the most dangerous. It's they know, they've studied us for that long. They know how the masses are going to react. They've always had a good presumption of what they need to implement to get the response. And unfortunately, we still aren't learning that we have all got to be united. We still keep falling for the division. But this is the thing, with those sorts of scripts, they know that it's like a dog on a chain, a link removed at a time until it's choking. We're nearly in that chokehold position now. And they know that we're going to start feeling it and more people are going to wake up. So they're going to use these, extremist words, making out as though good people who are trying to, stand up for their rights and against usurping authorities who are screwing us over, destroying our world, they're prepared for it. So they've got these little narratives. Oh, well, let's release this one and see how many we can deter. That's I think what they hope to do with the sovereign citizen bullshit. And with Desi,
I want to emphasize the word hope.
Hope. Yes, yeah. That's what they plan to do, but it's done the opposite. It's done the opposite.
Exactly. And that's the beautiful thing. Every time they do this shit, they continue to destroy themselves. And it's leading back to what we were saying earlier, about I hypothesize based on things that I'm hearing, and it just makes so much sense that the dark narrative, those who are narrating the darkness are gone. They hid behind the scenes so as well nobody would notice if you removed them. All that's left is the actors and the puppets, and there's no script anymore. So they're just rerunning. It's a rerun.
Good way to look at it.
What we used to call rating season. It's like we're watching MASH for the 400th fucking time. We know how this is gonna go. They've got nothing left in the bank. They're empty. They're fucked. We've already won. We're just going through the motions. It's like, I don't know if you play chess, but it's one of those things that when you're an early chess learner, you've got the majority of the pieces. But you can't quite seem to figure out how to make checkmate. It's a constant state of, we got you in check. Oh, shit, they moved. Check. Oh, they fucking moved. Oh, geez. Well, what's the combination here that locks the fuckers in place and we get checkmate? That's where we're at, as far as I'm concerned. They're fucked. They're creating the illusion that they can keep moving around the board. They've got no pieces left. They've got nothing, no ammo, nothing. They're done. They might have one sneaky last duck, but they're done. As far as I'm concerned, we've won.
Yeah. Oh, look, absolutely. And that's why we've got to think. We will win. We are winning. And they know that we know that they're crooked. So this is the thing. So because they know that we know, they know that They're going to keep trying to throw the situations. This is where we got to wake the F up. You know, we got to stand up and defend ourselves. Oh, bloody bullshit! The only people we've got to
fast enough.
we've got to defend ourselves against government, not each other.
I wanted it done yesterday. I want to have the big, hey, we knew it all along. It was great fucking, I look forward to the day we can all gather around, have a big fucking piss up and a party and have a great time going, sorted. Now we're going to rebuild this shit because they've done so much wrong.
Read that out for me. What Steve said there. The movement
the movement of constitutionalists took my head off more for sticking it up than the GovCo has ever been able to achieve against the truth.
Huh? The Constitution took my head off.
So it seems to be more like, whenever he stuck his head up to have a go, he got knocked off.
The constitutionalists had a go at you more than the government. Truth is this. Listen, this is what I was saying to you earlier too. I've never been a part of the freedom movement, and I've always said I'm on the truth movement, and this is the truth evolution, because revolution has got like a negative inference with it. This is an evolution. We are ascending. We are ascending.
Constant going round and round and round.
It does.
We need to get to a point where it's.
We need to get off the wheel,
next level,
and
up
start
to the next
ascending. The truth evolution. That's it. Side by side, shoulder to shoulder, we work together. We've got one common force or attacking us, and we've got to defend ourselves. So that's the other thing. We've just got to be careful. What's that? The only sovereign I recognise is
22 quarter of an ounce.
Hey, look, it's all a play on words. It's all just a bloody play on words. They know that you will fight to use their fiction and keep them in control. They know you ignore. What? They know you ignore truth. No, they. No way. No way. We are holding them to account. As I said, I applaud anybody who is, defending themselves the best way they know how. But I'm staying in that system, and the reason we go into the High Court to do this is, and to invalidate, to remove authority that they've got, one brick out of the wall at a time. It's to expose the system. And the more we can get in there and get done, the more we'll fall. So it's to break the system down and expose it. Like, that's just one way, other than waking everyone up to what is going on or getting good people in government. But, I mean, these people need to be taken down. This is the other thing. Those that, are running the show, pulling the strings on the puppets, they have done this for thousands of years. This is the other thing. We, the people, have all suffered. I mean, over in Europe, my forefathers, Europe was, subjected to these assholes for thousands of years. The horrors that these assholes, commit on the people. And First Nations have experienced that for, 250 years. The rest of the world, has experienced that for thousands of years. The horror stories from back then, burning entire people, chopping off their heads, putting heads on stakes. Like,
and
man.
It doesn't matter what fucking country you come from. These sick fucks.
That's it. This is the thing.
All over fucking world.
So this is where the people have got to come to acknowledge that we are not against each other. And we are not responsible for the actions that, have played out, all the horrors that have been committed against different, races and countries as they come in. They fucking hate us. Yeah, well, this is the thing. The other thing is human means monster.
Yes.
We're living, we're beings,
Mm.
Everything's just such a play on words. We just got to do our best, stick together, the people together, side by side, brothers and sisters. That's how we get it done. And going back to looking after, as I said, our earth. This is the thing. We've got to stop taking
Passion, understanding, forgiveness, love.
for all life, all life.
Mm.
We must start giving back twice as much as we take, and we must respect all nature.
And the hardest thing we're going to have to deal with is sorting out everyone who's done the wrong thing. So
This is the
I
thing.
don't know how many people have thought about the future of where this goes once we've won, because we know we will. We already have. We're just going through the motions. One of the hardest things we're going to have to deal with is, okay, old mate was working on a project, didn't quite understand what was going on.
Oh, no, listen, this is the thing. It's intense. It's will. It's everyone's got will and intent. If you've done something knowingly, that's the other thing. You've got to give, people a back door, so to speak. So that would be the thing, I guess, when we go in and we are actually able to, I guess, fill those positions in government that are needed, there are those that are in there that are ignorant, even though ignorance is no excuse, that really have gone in there and tried to do their best. But for any of those that have been involved with the desecration of our nation, the raping and defiling of it, they're going to be made accountable. And I think, all of their friends, family, associates, full transparency, all your accounts are empty, your assets are gone, that can go towards, rebuilding, replenishing,
remunerate
all the damage that I've caused.
Had everything stolen. All of us who have had to pay insane amounts of taxes and fees and bullshit for lies and deceit. How much of us have had? If I were remunerated for my taxes that were stolen for no fucking good bloody reason, we
need to get out of that system.
Every one of us who are workers who never even got a say. No, we're just taking your taxes, and if you don't conform, we'll take more.
The fiat system.
That's not an agreement. That's brutal force. We need to be remunerated. So
but that's the thing. How do you do that? Like, this is where you've got to look at, the tribes, around the world, even First Nations. It is all about community, and everyone's got a different role. Perhaps the elderly will, look after the young while the parents go out, whether they've got to go out and, work crops or make clothing, or you'll have, hey?
Well, parents should be looking after children, not ripped away from their families.
No. What I'm saying, Brady, you didn't understand what I was saying.
No, I hear what you're saying. I'm agreeing with it in the sense that that's what we should be doing.
Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. But they've created a system where it is so hard now that both parents are out working. And look, I've been crucified for this
situation of handing your children over.
Absolutely. They've created that, though. They've made it so hard to survive. See, I am old school. I believe that we are here to procreate, have children, and the children need to have both parents there. But, I guess mainly the mother in the younger years and the grandparents to teach the wisdom of the old ways, to hand them down. But they're just losing all skills. I mean, I don't think any young ones these days are taught, sewing, weaving, knitting, how to, till the soil, plant seeds out, look after animals. It's just, they don't know any of that. They're too busy fucking working out if they want to have their bloody dicks chopped off or hormone injections to grow hair on their chin. The government have caused all of this. And as I said, with all the poisons in the food, it's insane. We must go back to grassroots. We must go back to nature.
Agree.
Mm.
Well,
Well,
I smashed this out pretty hard.
we just got
And
a live
it's
shot
actually
tonight.
11:22. Go figure. Numerology's coming for us again. 11:22.
Mm. 3 6.
That happens all the time. It's
6 is
absolutely
compassion. Mm.
yeah. You know, it's not always just the numbers. It's the successive pattern that just says the universe is speaking. It's time to listen. Whatever the message is, well, subject to interpretation. It can be a bit hard to figure out sometimes because it just smacks
Trust
you.
your
Oh,
instincts.
shit. Up. It's told me. It's told me to listen. Oh shit! What to? Fuck. You know, you get used to it, ladies and gentlemen. The more you listen, the more you see, the more you observe, the more you
Yep.
feel everything that's happening. It'll become stronger, and it is getting stronger. It's getting stronger.
It is. It is. Everything's aligning. Everything is aligning. I'm a true believer that things present when they're meant to. Things all happen for a reason. Yeah, so many have lost their path. They're too distracted. Some don't. This is the thing, it's
But at the same time, so many are finding it.
yes,
I mean,
that's the thing. I love that. I love that spin. That's fantastic.
Yes,
Hey,
so many have lost their ways. I mean, you really want
but
to
this
throw
is
it
where
out? How far down the
this is
rabbit
where
hole
we
do you
did
want to
them.
go? Like,
Why do we do this, Batty? To try and wake people up and share information. You know how there's this saying that twisted a lot of things too. Order out of chaos. Do you know what it should be? I'll tell you what it should be. It should be knowledge over chaos. Over it. Our knowledge. Over.
Well, yeah, I took a moment to ponder it. Yeah, because it's a lack of knowledge that gives chaos. Chaos
Correct.
breeds a lack of knowledge. That's why they're so hell-bent on making sure you are not informed, that you don't know what's going on, that they distort history, they rip apart everything that would give you any sense of knowledge.
Mankind, humanity's, yeah. We've been under attack for hundreds, thousands of years. So it's time that we woke up, went through our ascension, and the people all together, we all stand side by side. We're all equal. We all walk the earth. We're made from the earth, the cosmic dust, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. And I think the other thing is what I say. Your actions define you. So don't just speak. Actually follow through with your actions, because otherwise, more than being a fraud, you're being a fraud to yourself. It's not good. So when you say united, we stand. Yes. Yep. Stand up in truth. Truth is the way forward. The truth evolution. We are ascending.
And as Wikipedia itself, sorry, wrong bit. Wikipedia itself,
and we're all learning too. It's all a part of making mistakes. And
not to be confused with sovereign individual. Not to be make sure.
Oh, look, it's all just such a play on words.
Oh,
it's so much distraction. I think this is the other thing. What the hell is going on? We've got a lot going on at the moment. We've, the clashes with the religions, and then the white supremacy thing. And then we've got, you can't speak badly about Jews. This is the anti-Semitism.
It's like you can't talk about these. I'm sorry. If somebody of any religious faith is doing something wrong, I should be able to discuss it. I don't give a shit.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Christian, Catholic, fucking Jews. Personally, I kind of throw the whole thing into one fucking basket of monotheistic control systems.
Mm-hmm.
My personal point of view. Feel free to tell me I'm an asshole for saying so. I don't care. It's been my experience that these are people trying to control your connection to whatever word you would like to assign to the entities.
So the assholes. Well, this was the thing. We started to say we need to watch our words, because a lot of the Jewish people were speaking up, going, "We're against these bloody Zionists too." So there's nothing to say we can't speak badly about Zionists. But this is the interesting thing with that bullshit gathering, which was basically Muslims against Christians. There's a couple of interesting things there. I've watched that over and over. I've pulled that apart. Of course, people know I cannot stand Avi, bloody little Zionist prick he is. He's there and so they threw this black guy out because he had a T-shirt on that they didn't like. Too fucking bad. He wasn't doing anything wrong. And then the NSN boys are there too, but they threw them out as well because they didn't like their ideology. So what I'm getting at, I'm trying to get to a point here, is that it's just as bad as government. They hadn't done anything wrong, but all you could see throughout all of the protests, even up in Queensland and down here in Melbourne, were these big boys in black windsheeters or hoodies with the Lions of Zion. Now, the Lions of Zion are a new, proud, fighting Zionist group.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what the F? Like, it's playing out in front of our freaking eyes. It's insane.
But it always has been. Look at the Matrix.
I know. So this is the thing. We're not to get distracted with it.
Zion.
Yeah.
Zion was a safe place in the Matrix.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Look, I think the other thing, Batty, as we say, I try not to give too much. I'm not posting and doing a whole lot of stuff about it because I'm just saying, you know what? I don't have time for that shit. It can just disappear out of freaking memory, because the more we speak about it, the more energy it gives it.
Yeah.
So we're just to concentrate and focus on what we need to do. Yeah. People all together.
Points out.
Yeah.
So, the important thing that I think, and this is just my personal opinion, everybody can tell me to go get fucked if they like, is to focus on the ultimate coming together, Star Trek utopian society. Let's get our shit together. It's already happening. As far as I'm concerned, it's already happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't get stuck in it.
Yeah. We're just going.
Don't turn on each other.
We're going through the motions. Let go of the ego. It doesn't matter how many fucking views you get. It doesn't matter how many pats on the ass you get. We're not a footy team. I don't need to walk through the locker room and get a spank on the ass. I'm not into that kind of thing. That's just me.
Speak your truth. Speak your truth, and follow up with actions. Actions is, that's what makes the person.
Than words.
Yes.
Actions speak louder than words. And look. I want to emphasize the fact that the North Queensland Freedom Network is your network, the people's network. I am just a custodian who likes to have a beer every now and then and say sips.
Hey, empty glass. That'll be a break.
Oh, nearly.
All right. Let's
let this go. Yes, it certainly was not exactly what I expected this conversation to be.
We went all over the shop tonight, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
Please get behind. I'll say one more thing.
Yep.
I was going to say, please, everybody, keep your eyes on the people in the courts as well. Support as best you can Rod Culleton, Dr. Beverly, Dr. Valerie. Another big one's just been lodged. Hopefully that'll be filed by the end of the week. But these people are trying to get rid of legislation, acts, etc., that are causing us hardship. And I know it's just chipping away at things in the scheme of things, but still, we the people focused on the courts. If the government knows we're all waking up and the courts know that we are all watching what the F is going on. So, thank you, Betty.
Look, it's my pleasure. I think it's clearly working. They would not be ramping up the scales. And one final thing I really want to call attention to the general public is we are rapidly approaching the anniversary of 9/11. And isn't it interesting that they're ramping up the scales against the alleged sovereign citizen thing that they've created, and all these people standing up for themselves, and us horrible freedom things, and all the like the retardation of the fucking insults that they'll continuously throw at anybody who stands against their evil tyranny. It's a very interesting time. Watch out. Very careful, ladies and gentlemen. The next week or two is going to be fucking chaos if my theories are correct. I don't want to divulge exactly what I think is going to happen.
Yeah,
something. I hope, because I don't want to manifest the bad. I want to manifest the good, because like I said, we've already won. We're just going through the motions. What acts of desperation will evil attempt to do? And not just evil, because we have to acknowledge the fact that there are a lot of very misguided people. I've worked in the mainstream media, and they are so misguided they actually believe the bullshit they're shoveling. And that is a sad truth. These are people who are going to have mental meltdowns when they come to realize the actual truth. And every day that passes that you don't wake up from this, look at it from like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom sort of stuff, Galima Suktime sort of stuff. These people are under a fucking trance. And every day they don't wake up from that trance, it's going to be harder and harder for them to deal with the reality of what is really happening. I mean, those of us who are awake are still going to struggle with what's going to come out in the next few months, years even. I'm not going to say too much about where I get some of the information, but what I'm hearing right now is, yes, be aware. Big shit is going to drop very soon, because the dark side has lost.
That absolutely.
I just don't know.
We walk in the light. We live the light. Truth. This is why it's got to be that truth. Yeah. We are the authors. We're the authors of our story. We shall write our future. We shall record history.
That's it.
Because you learn.
If you're in the mainstream media being coerced to write bullshit, now's a good time to come out and say, hey, I was coerced to write bullshit. The sentence will be lighter. If you're in any way, shape, or form involved in the darkness and you know it's dark, now is time to admit.
Careful what you believe is the right truth.
Yeah. If you know it's bad, it's time to jump sides.
Well, this is the thing. Do you sell your soul, as the saying goes? If something's not right, don't be a part of it.
Yeah. This is the best time to jump ship. They were all given an option a long time ago, but now it's those who still don't get it or are still not sure. Let's face it.
Oh, tell truth.
I don't think there's any more.
The Constitution for me is just exposing the system. If it was adhered to, it is a good overall umbrella. But anyhow, no, I'm not going to burn the Constitution. It is actually a good book if it's adhered to. If it was adhered to, that's the problem.
I think in a lot of ways it's particularly seeing who's writing that, having sat down with Indigenous people, one of the things I found really inspiring with those who've really figured the shit out is that no, these are your laws. Adhere to your own fucking laws. Then we'll talk about ours. So for those and the common law thing and the, hey, let's bring it back to the earth law or whatever. Hey, look, I think we need to amalgamate ideas and start to move forward rather than regress ourselves back to old concepts. But that's a time and a discussion that will happen in the future.
Oh, yes, I understand that. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, for now, the Constitution is a very important thing because it reins in them. And it's important to make them adhere to their own laws because they continuously lay laws down, but
that's why they hid it. That's how they've, perpetrated all of this on it, because they just buried it and they've laid all this bullshit out. Don't forget
our
that
ignorance is our strength, you know.
Yeah. This is the thing. The Constitution is organic as well, so the people can change it via referendum. So that's what I mean. Like, it can be an umbrella to be altered, amended, sections repealed. It's, for the people. We got to have some sort of guideline. But look, I did like Keith Charles's had a great idea with the doing a covenant with First Nations. We are very concerned with what is going on in the country and with the mass immigration. I mean, as I said, humanity is all equal and we've got to stand side by side, but this country does not have much in the way of arable, pastoral or agricultural soils. So we can't sustain ourselves and we are destroying so much. There's so this is the problem with all of this mass immigration we're seeing. Our First Nations people are down to a very, very small percent. So we need to get something in place to make sure everything's protected. But I can prove. Oh, what can you prove 100%? I missed what he could prove.
100%.
What?
They are obligated to it though because it is fictional, not law.
The government are obligated to it. They've got to obey it. All right.
I think there's a lot of truth that needs to come out in regards to these things, particularly when we're dealing with 369 tribal law factors and 369 sovereign nations within the borders of Australia. There's a lot of truths that the people need to come to learn,
Oh, absolutely.
And a lot of realities that everyone needs to come to accept, which is that 369 nations can't exist dealing with the bullshit in this continent. Like, it is a sad truth. As much as I respect and enjoy learning about the cultures and borders that have been here, and I accept that in some cases, or probably in a lot of cases, there's things in this land we just don't understand. That
of course.
Oh, look, not just here in Australia, but globally. There is a lot going on that we've been told doesn't exist. And you can see it in your fairy tales, you can see it in all the old stories. The real truth is in the old stories. And that should be enough to fancify the mind to the best. And and I've learned how to identify them and know them and even smell them when you can't see them. So that should fucking dance with your mind.
Myths and legends are some of the best guides. Oh, cheers, Bet.
Tips.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I came across something today. Something that
are we still live? Yes, we are. Because I forget we are sometimes.
You don't see them, you smell them. Interesting. Anyway, we should probably end this, I think we're done.
We're just rambling. It's not about absolutely it's not. It's about We need to
Ditch?
chat,
Love
Betty.
to. Love
It's
to.
so much. Yeah.
Mate, drop me a line, nqfreedomnetwork@protonmail.com, and not just for you, Dig, for everyone, because I'm just the custodian of this network. I have created a voice for the people to the best of my ability. That's what I was guided to do, and that's what I am doing. So look,
Thanks for having me on,
Jackie.
Betty G. We've rambled and rambled and rambled. Just
It's
like
always a
our phone
pleasure.
conversations.
Honestly, I feel like the purpose of this podcast is just so I can have a good rant every now and then, and a wonderful conversation with amazing people like yourself.
Thank you, Betty.
So
You're a good man.
my pleasure. I do my best, and you're a wonderful woman. It's just too much fun. This is. Honestly thought, being a lunatic, drunken, drug addict rock star would be the best thing in the world. But I found out just having a couple of quiet drinks with some friends, talking shit, upset.
That's the best way to go.
More than
Sitting
being a
around the
rock
fire,
star
the
could.
bush telly.
Yeah.
Nothing better.
It's the new pub because I can't afford to go to any other one.
It's the best way.
Thanks heaps, Jackie.
Cheers.
Until next
Cheers
time.
to the people.
That's it. To the people, to freedom.
Yes, to the people. We are free. Standing up and
we
owning
have
it.
to fight for it, but we have to fight
To the
to
truth evolution.
To the truth.
Rambling and rage is good for the soul.
Finding the truth, making sure we don't lose our freedom. It's not that any one idea is right or wrong.
No, it's great having debate. Sometimes we just have to agree to disagree. Got to get rid of the ego and recognise that we're all learning. We're all learning. Be open to ideas, respect each other.
And I look forward to the big archives being open so we can really fucking learn. Won't that be great? What is it really? We know you've been hiding it. Come on, cough it up.
You got to look at all the words with arc in them. I was having a conversation with a mate today.
Like arcane.
Yeah, archaeology, arc, and he's in welding. Joining bridge.
I like it. Lots of ways to do things. They like to hide the truth right in plain sight, don't they?
Oh, absolutely, they do. I'd like to get into the vaults of the Vatican. This is, so much destroyed. They've been doing it for so long. It's crazy. Look at the Alexander the Great. The greatest thief and criminal and murderer and rapist. He's the one that destroyed the Great Library. All of the knowledge that had been collected up over hundreds of years. Just, another one. Once again, hey?
And just one of many.
Oh, yeah, just one of many. And this is the thing. The victors write the history. So they're not going to, let us know that they were really murdering, raping assholes who've just destroyed so much history. Anyhow.
I'm pretty confident that there are records kept off-world that will help.
The Akashic records. Look, this is what they say when we tune into the Akashic records.
That word straight out of my head.
I know. I know. That is what it's all about. We've got to. That's why we need to go within. The answers lie within.
Yep, exactly.
They are within, and it's remembering. We need to remember ourselves and what it's about.
And that's the trick. We took the fucking. What didn't take it? We chose to reincarnate into a realm where you forget. I look forward to remembering. I have to unincarnate to do that.
Well, they say our DNA has the holds over 300 million years of history. Like, it's all connected. It's all connected. Just got to open up. Open up. Remember. And I think the more you hold yourself in, you know, the frequency that we need to be in, don't acknowledge all the stuff that's going around. Don't let it absorb into you, though. You know, think about how we can think about solutions.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
it's about.
The final desperation of the dark side is being thrust upon us. All we have to do is just go,
Right.
just another lie. You're done. You're dead. You know it. Time to join the light side of the force.
There's a lot happening.
Because I kind of look at it as, well, I might show you compassion. I can't say much for the rest of the human race. Might be time to join the light side. So my final message to the last of the evil, you know you're done.
Yep.
We've already won.
Well, we have.
They're already
Absolutely.
done. We've already won. Lyrics of my new
We
song.
just got to wake ourselves up. We are very powerful beings. Wake up. Remember. Very, very powerful beings.
Definitely. With that, I think we'll leave it. Thank you very much, Jackie. It's been an amazing
Thanks,
podcast.
Patty.
A wonderful conversation. I don't know if
It's
anybody
been like
else
a
made
phone
sense
call.
of it, but truth. I've loved it.
So
Fuck
sorry,
everybody
Patty.
else. I've had a great time.
Thanks, mate.
All good. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen. Till next time, Jackie. It's been
See ya.
awesome. And remember, we're already free. We are free. And
We are
fighting
free.
to maintain that
Stand up,
freedom. Don't let it go.
Stand in your strength. Know your power.
Doesn't matter what the enemy says. Water off the duck's back.
That's right.
Till next time.